Good evening, America. Tonight, the Smithsonian is under fire, finally, as it should be, for what they have just done to this beautiful system of museums that is supposed to be this amazing piece of American culture, but they have denied it. They have ruined it because that's what the left does. The left doesn't build things, they only destroy. Their entire platform is about how they can tear down the systems that are there, that are this voodoo that is suppressing them. There's been many allegations and many things about the Smithsonian. The House Oversight Committee brought in the head of the Smithsonian to testify about what the heck is going on. Now, the director of the director of the Smithsonian, Anthea Hartig, absolutely embarrassed herself on in the Department of Government in her testimony. I can't speak tonight. I don't know what's happening. I need to do my warm-ups. I was kind of in a rush tonight, as you can't tell. I was supposed to hit the store on the way home, and I forgot to, so I got all the way home, and then I had to run back out to the store just in time to get here and go live. But we're here, as I promised all of you. We're going to be live every single Monday night at 9 p.m., Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, basically without exception. There's going to be a few misses here or there, but we're trying to get this as consistent as possible. The podcast is booming. It's always booming. The podcast is doing great. We have tens of thousands, 50,000 download episodes. That's like top 10%, top 5% podcast. Doing a great job. So thank you, all of you. What we're trying to do is trying to get the live show more interactive. So for all of you that listen on the podcast, come to the live show Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can watch it anywhere. You can watch it on YouTube. You can watch it on Rumble, Facebook, X. Basically anywhere. It's out there. Tune in live. You could always call into the show. 561-786-2916. Anthea Hartig testifies in front of the House Oversight Committee today, and it was absolutely embarrassing. That is the topic for tonight. We will be right back. Don't go anywhere. Drop a comment down below. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button, and we will see you in just a minute. So we're going to jump right into it. Let me get this pulled up here, and we're gonna head to it. So the Smithsonian is a historic, like one of the biggest and best museums in the world. A shining hill of American history, of world history, of the museum is so big that there are tunnels underneath the street in Washington, D.C. that connect them together. It's full of billions of dollars of artifacts, and it's supposed to show an objective history of the world. That's what it is. It's a legitimate, amazing, and incredible museum. However, it's been infiltrated and destroyed by the left. So here is Representative Michael Cloud asking the director of the Smithsonian, what books are for sale in the gift shop? Simple question, right? Simple, very simple question. But she just can't seem to answer it, as usual. This is what we see in these people who get called before these committees. All right, here we go.
What would you say is the most influential book in American history?
So if I may go back to your second question.
What would you say is the most influential book in
May
American
I go
history?
back to your second question?
You can answer the one I just asked you.
Well, as a historian, it's probably hard to choose which is the most influential book in the United States history, but I can tell you what's the most influential document, and that is the Declaration of Independence, which appears in different ways
Most
at least
influential
4 or
book.
5 times.
The founders quoted one book more than any other book.
The founders were very well read, and as you know, Thomas Jefferson's library became the core of the Library of
Yes,
Congress.
and that book would have been the Bible. Secondly, would have been Common Sense by Thomas Paine. Now, I went to the bookstore. I couldn't find Common Sense in the bookstore. I did find, these books. Here's George Takei, It Rhymes with Takei, a book in which he talks about, one young man lusting after another. I'm not sure why this is in our American History Museum, in the kids section, mind you.
In the kids section. Now, George Takei, I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name. I always pronounced it Tacky. I follow him on Twitter. I think he actually blocked me on Twitter because I would just go back and forth with him. I think he was in Star Wars or something. He's got this book apparently about homosexual sex that is there advertised to children. Now, why is the Smithsonian doing that? That wouldn't be history or objective truth. That would be political activism. And that's what we're seeing everywhere across the United States. Let's finish this up.
That's you think is important to have it in the American History Museum?
So George Takei, as you know, the actor from Star Trek, was incarcerated during World War II as the result of Executive Order 9066.
Executive Order 906 is when FDR put people in concentration camps. Now, he was obviously extraordinarily young at that time and most likely has zero memories of that. Regardless, that's a horrible point of history perpetrated by one of the left's most amazing Democrats, which never should have happened, and it's abhorrent. But what does that have to do with homosexual acts in books for children?
His children's book, I think, is a beautiful
Who made the
story.
decision to put that in there?
And his children's book is a beautiful story. It's a beautiful story. What is it without homosexual sex? We can't have that. We
Mr. Chairman, and thank you.
Here is, she just keeps getting filleted all day. She can't answer any simple questions. But these are the people who are running our society and influencing our children. You should see who's writing the textbooks. And they wonder why there's a massive push for children to be homeschooled or go to Catholic school. Here she is yet again just getting roasted.
I'm moving on because you
Lord.
I don't know how much money you spent on getting prepped for this hearing. They did a good job because you're filibustering and not answering a single question from a single Republican. Today, do you believe that men can become women?
Ma'am, as the director of the museum, that's not relevant in this case.
It's very relevant. You've got men dressed up as women and you have them on displays in front of kids. Do you think men can become women, yes or no?
So RuPaul's Drag Race, which is the upper...
It's a man. RuPaul is a man who
Uh-huh.
dresses
Right.
like a woman,
Right.
literally.
Correct.
What is a woman, Dr. Hartig?
As a director and as a historian, it's not my opportunity.
You sexualize the American History Museum. So this is a fair question. What is a woman?
So at the museum...
What is a woman?
We strive to represent and not categorize all Americans.
Okay, I have another.
We strive to represent and not categorize all Americans. We strive to represent and not categorize all Americans. You're the Smithsonian Museum of History. History searches for absolute truth, and you can't even define the very basics of human biology because you're terrified you're going to offend somebody. So if you're searching history and you're researching history and you're this renowned historian who's the director of the Smithsonian, what happens when you get to parts of history that I don't know, maybe would offend other people? Do we just change history or do we report the truth? It sounds like you can't even say the very basics of human biology.
Question for you. There's a glossary at the museum that informs visitors that while American culture traditionally recognizes two genders, other countries recognize three or more. So enlighten me this morning. How many genders are there?
Ma'am, which glossary?
This is a display, and that has a glossary that says other countries recognize three or more genders. So I would like you to enlighten me today. You're the director of the American History Museum who's sexualized things in front of kids. I want to ask you, how many genders are there?
So first of all, I'm happy to get
How
back
many?
to you about the glossary.
How many genders are there?
Sure.
And what are they?
I'm not sure which glossary you're speaking of.
Of course, I know that you don't. You know exactly what this hearing was about today. One of your exhibits at the American History Museum says sometimes gender isn't revealed at birth. So when is gender revealed?
So
When was your gender revealed to you, Dr. Hartig?
So I don't really think that's relevant to the
It is relevant. You
conversation,
have a
ma'am.
display at the American History Museum talking about gender isn't always revealed at birth. So when was your gender revealed?
So since I am a PhD and
I wasn't done yet, but I'll yield back, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
thank you, Ms. Mace.
Basic questions, because they're so terrified that they're going to offend somebody with the truth that they can't even speak it or speak anything close to it.
I'm just curious, what do we do going forward? How do we resolve this?
Here is, again, just another clip. It's mind-blowing just how far our society has gone down this never-ending rabbit hole of morons in charge of everything. Everybody's an idiot. You know, I kind of knew this growing up. I would get home and I'd be like, man, this teacher's just an idiot. They're completely wrong. But then there's like that always voice inside your head that's like, well, they're a teacher. They have a master's degree or a PhD. They're very smart. They had to get hired. There was a vetting process. No, they're all idiots. 90% of them are morons. And then, you know, college is nothing special. I went to college. I got a master's degree. So what? I got accepted to PhD programs. I got accepted to law school. I just never went. You don't need college. College doesn't make you any smarter. In fact, some of the dumbest people on earth excel in college because in college, the less you think for yourself, the better you do. The answer to this question is X. Memorize it. Who was the first president of the United States? The first president was George Washington. Who was the second president? John Adams. You just have to memorize and repeat. You don't have to think objectively. Like, tell me about the Alien and Sedition Acts and how they circumvented the First Amendment and the natural law that's prevalent inside the Declaration of Independence. I never experienced any of that at the bachelor level, at the master's level. They'd be like, write an essay, an opinion essay, or a fact-based essay. And I was a political science major, so I had these PhDs that were just like, I had a PhD professor one time argue with me in class because he was just completely wrong. And then he goes, well, you must be just watching Fox News. And I said, well, no, I don't really watch that stuff because it's biased. Fox News is biased to conservatives, just like MSNBC is biased to Democrats. And his PhD looks at me in front of the whole class and goes, well, MSNBC is just telling the truth. Really? They don't have any political agenda whatsoever. Nope. You know what? And if we had time to watch Fox News and MSNBC side by side in my class, we would do it and everybody would see. But what happens is students, they listen to the authority figure because they want to get a good grade. They don't give a crap about the class. They don't care. They could care less about the class. They could care less about the subject matter. Half of them aren't there to learn. They're there to check a box, to get a degree, to go out and get a job. So who makes it through college? The ones who don't ask questions, the ones who just fall lockstep in line, and then they beef your head up with confidence. They, oh, yeah, you're a PhD, or you have a bachelor's degree now. You're better than people around you. And it's all nonsense. It's a massive financial grift that makes you think a certain way.
Mr. Gonzalez, in the remaining time that we have, I'm just curious, what do we do going forward? How do we resolve this? How do we fix this? Because it's clearly a problem. It's dividing our country. What's the path forward?
I'm saddened to say that you do need to clean out house at the Smithsonian. You have to replace the leadership. I don't think the 603 review process is going to fix anything. I don't think trying to reform with the present leadership is going to do anything. They're committed to the things they want to do. We only have to listen to what they say and look at the evidence of what they have produced. I think you need to work with the Board of Regents to effect this change.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.